Good morning.
Good morning.
That's upside down. Whew, the divine child. Before I get started, I really want to take a moment and thank Tim West, who in the background in Missouri, who does an amazing job of weaving things together. So thank you, Tim. And Bill Evans, always usually in the background. Another, if it wasn't for Bill, this wouldn't be happening. Or if it was happening, it would be stumbling along slowly and not with such grace. So thank you, Bill. So yesterday I got to be a kid all day long. I took a geology field trip through the Peninsula Community College, and we went 200 miles. And we went out to the coast and then to several beaches and studied the rocks. We studied the divine child as it's represented in our physical universe. It was awesome. And then I got up in the middle of the night and watched the meteor shower for a while. So I got myself good and sleepy to get here, so there's not much going on in the background. So welcome to unity. Welcome to oneness. Welcome home. Celebrating the divine child was born of the desire to explore with you the ever greater depths of God's presence, and is built upon the foundation of our divine essence, true to the axiom that we remain as we were created, the offspring of God, the divine child of the Most High, retaining all of the aspects of the absolute. These aspects include love, light, peace, poise, and power, in which we originally were wrapped up snug in divine innocence, the God essence, which knows nothing of conflict, never in opposition to itself, existing in the wide-eyed wonder of being itself. My intention is to offer a reminder of our eternal essence as the offspring or child of love itself, as we join together to peer through the veil of the illusion that we could somehow be separate from our Creator and her creation. Following up with Ari's dive into Jungian archetypes last week, the divine child is the mold from which we all sprang. And then, on this plane at least, collectively forgot, if not actively rejected. It is high time we revisited the power of newness and innocence, that part of ourselves that remains open to receiving and giving unconditional love, remembering that love heals all things. Keeping in principle, the unity movement is aligned with the larger body of New Thought congregations, building upon the realization that divine revelation is ongoing, because divine communication never ceases. We flourish in our lessons as we open to new insights, new perspectives. Behold, I make all things new, as I become as a child and return unto my father mother's house. The Venerable Kate Douglas Wiggins, who started the first San Francisco free kindergarten in 1878 and author of Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, has offered that every child born into the world is a new thought of God, an ever fresh and radiant possibility. Truly, children, including the ever-present but often suppressed child within, are aspects of ancient wisdom and potential being expressed in new ways. How clever is God to keep coming up newly through each and every one of us. One of the delightful things about children and the unleashed child within is that the world through their eyes is new and full of wonder. Innocence and joy are predominant in such minds, and the reason for being is beyond question. Jesus was quoted in the once banned Gospel of Thomas. God's blessings are already poured out upon the world, but you do not see. And what you are looking forward to has come. This, as before, takes a while to sink in, but it's worth pondering. Each of us has come into this world as heavenly reminders of our source. Sometimes I just look at my hand just to see God. I mean, try that sometime. But our ticket into this realm was to take on the cloak of forgetting our spiritual nature, each some inseparable and necessary part of the whole. We have taken on the cloak of fragmentation and have largely forgotten our unlimited power to create in alignment with our highest good. Now, the shock of human birth is one that we all share. To come out from the freedom of the non-physical dimensions into the seeming boundaries, lack, limitations, and restrictions of earthly incarnation is our collective experience. We have all known trial and tribulation. So how do we return to that state of innocence, joyfulness, empowerment, and certainty? As for me, the hereafter is not what I'm here after. I don't agree that I must experience physical death to be liberated. I, while I yet live, shall know my God. And why not? Who's making the rules anyway? Well, there does seem to be a process, a path to follow. And if we could have emancipated ourselves on our own, we would have done so by now. Paradoxically, it is up to each one of us, independently and seemingly alone, to take responsibility for our choices and our lives, and step in faith across the threshold from the chaos of separation belief and into the peace and empowerment of unity consciousness. This means no longer blaming anyone or anything for what our life journey has been. What? No more giving up our power by blaming mom, dad, the government, the weather, the economy, Uncle Ned, or God for whatever troubles we may have had or are now facing. This includes, hear me well, judging and blaming yourself. Space for the human race, and that means you and me. One by one, yet never truly alone, we must choose to take a leap of faith. Surrender, and that's the choose. We have that power. Surrender and allow ourselves to be guided away from fear and doubt, back into the assurance of well-being and the knowledge of wholeness. Choosing to become our own loving, supportive friend by intentionally focusing on the desire to deliberately regain that which is ours by right of consciousness. Wholeness, peace, power, happiness, health, the fruits of divine union. And yes, you must make the choice for yourself, because we remain as we were created, an individualized yet unseparated aspect of God, endowed with inescapable free will. We are the love of God, not toys or puppets. No one, not even the Creator, can violate our free will. As with the prodigal son, we must choose to return to our heavenly roots, embrace and embody our true nature. Our personal desire of the Father and intention sets us on the path home. Open-heartedness frees that inner child's innate wisdom to choose rightly and allow God love to guide us home. Our innocence, which we were on this earth not consciously aware of when we were first born, not many of us knew as a child that we were as innocent as we were at that time. But now, this is arising in recognition as a deliberate choice, becoming conscious innocence, an ever-present guide back into a life of abundance, to stop and say, yeah, I am that child. I am innocent. It doesn't matter what happened before, what choices I made. We have the power at every moment to return to our innocence, to our essence as a divine child, and then step forward from that moment. Innocence becomes a practice. And of course, what comes up in every mind that sets itself upon the journey without distance is fear. What comes up are all of the unconscious beliefs and worldly ideas that block the big picture of our inherent unlimitedness. This happens without fail. So treat every block as a gift, for it arrived into your awareness to show you what you are not. As we surrender our doubts, becoming as a child before the might of wholeness, holiness, that which once seemed as a thunderstorm now becomes as a gentle breeze. As Jesus once said, peace, be still. So God loves the world by means of you and I. By choosing with desire and intention, allowing and surrendering to the omnipresent, omnipotent, divine child within, the universe must, by divine law and immutable principle, give in fullness what we ask. Do not allow doubt to block your affirmation. Now, rarely does God just drop out of the sky and hand over the goods. She is much more subtle than that. Wholeness conspires within itself from its perspective of complete knowledge. She sees that our personal good is also our collective good. God's tapestry is woven in synchronicities and miracles to bring our collective unified desire to fruition. He will show up in answer to our needs and desires, communicating through circumstances, conditions, and especially people. Be vigilant and seek proof that your secret prayers are answered openly. Everyone is, was, and shall be the offspring of the Most High. We are the divine child. What more could you ask for, really? We indeed remain as we were created, inseparable from source, and in truth, inseparable from all creation. This includes every living thing, and even that which does not appear to be alive. Proof of that yesterday at the coast, at the beaches. Oh my God. Celebrate the divine child by loving the giver and the gift as one, in, as, and through all. The ancient mountain, the vast ocean, the great sky, the old growth cedar, The otter and the dolphin, these two are the holy and divine child. Beloved friends, the face of innocence is your face. Your face is the reflection of love itself. I celebrate you, the eternal and holy child of God, as together we walk from love, through love, to love. And I allow my word and the word of Spirit to be one. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you. And I made a few. There's a few things in here. These words came flooding through me when I sat down to prepare this, and they're really the result of, I don't know if a friend of mine just got his black belt in Hapkido last week. This is my black belt in thought, study, and prayer, and and so all of these words I heard from somewhere else, and then took some time and meditated and embodied, and yeah. I mean, prove it to yourself. Prove your own divine innocence to yourself, and then reflect on it and be the little light. Let that little light shine, and don't be restricted by this grown-up body that we're walking around in, because the kid's still here. So I made a few copies, and I'll leave them for if anyone wants to review some of that stuff and pull it up again within, and validate for yourself the truth of your being, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're here after. So it is. I forgot about the meditation part. Okay. I invite you to close your eyes if you so choose and take these words as your own, where there is only one presence and one power, that which I call God. And I know that the wholeness, the peace, the poise, the power, the love that is the essence of our Creator is also the essence of myself. And as I allow my human life to unfold, and as I take a deep breath and relax into the present moment, I let go of everything that is considered the past, for now is the only time that there is. Now is the only time that there ever will be. Now is nothing but love. And as I remember to breathe and center myself into that good light, that twinkling light within, I know that God is not out there somewhere. God is within. As our master Jeshua and Joseph, Jesus, our brother, who is one among many and who declares himself the equal to us, constantly reminds, I and the Father are one. God is within. The God in me greets the God in you. And together we know that all is well. And so it is.